Welcome back to my channel. Today we are exploring a very interesting poem by Robert Frost titled A Considerable Speck. This poem may look simple, but it carries deep meanings about life, intelligence, compassion, and even political ideas of Frost's time. In this video, I will explain the poem slide by slide in the simplest way so you can understand the poem clearly and score high marks in your exam. So let's begin. In this slide, we are discussing two important points. Here, the speaker tells us that he was writing something on a sheet of paper when he noticed a tiny speck. He explains that he would never have seen it if it wasn't moving on the white paper. So, questions like what made the speaker notice the speck? One reason, he was writing its presence on a white sheet of paper. Second reason, the speck is moving. Okay, this is the first point. Second point, he was about to finish his sentence by putting a period, but he paused and held his pen in the air. There was something strange about this speck. He realized it wasn't just dust or a bit of fluff blown by his breath. It was without any doubt a living mite. So it is a creature, living creature, a tiny creature with its own feelings and the power to make decisions. Okay. So here, poet tells that without any doubt, it is a living mind having its own feelings and decision making power. Please note down this point. This particular slide gives you answers for the questions like what was strange about the mite that attracted the speaker's attention, or what was the speck really? Okay, so here the speaker says that after watching carefully, he noticed the mite had suddenly stopped running as if it was scared of his pen. But soon it began running wildly again, then stopped once again. It even touched or smelled the ink, but quickly turned away with a feeling of intense dislike, showing that it also had some kind of intelligence. So, what this mite is doing, it is moving according to the movement of this paper. Okay, the speaker wondered how such a tiny creature could move like that, and then he realized that this tiny insect really had a mind of its own, even though it was so small. He felt it must have tiny legs that helped it run and escape because it did not want to die. Here, the speaker is talking about the natural tendency of every living being from a tiny speck to a human being, a strong desire to live and continue life in whatever form it is. This particular slide gives you the answer that why he did not kill the mite. Okay. The speaker says that the mite was running in fear for its life. It crept, it faltered, hesitated, and kept moving in confusion. Finally, it stopped in the middle of the paper, lying completely still, as if it had accepted its fate in front of the human god. And here, human god is the speaker himself. Okay, but the speaker did not kill the mite. Why? He did not believe in the idea of collectivistic regimenting love, which refers to the strict control seen in communism during that time. Instead of following such a harsh systems, he chose compassion. So this is the important point from this poem. Okay, communism is shown as a political system where the state controls everything and the individual has little freedom. Frost contrasts this with the God's kindness, where even a tiny creature is allowed to live without harm. Here, the speaker saves the life of mite because he realizes it has a mind of its own and therefore has the right to live. He even suggests that a tiny speck with intelligence is better than a human who has no sense or wit. Since the mite was microscopic and harmless, he let it rest peacefully on the sheet of paper. Okay, this is the main point. the last point. Okay, the poem finishes with four lines where the speaker, in a dry and funny way, he says that he felt happy to see this tiny creature show its little thinking on his sheet of paper. Now, let's look at the themes of the poem. First theme, respect for life. The poet shows kindness and care for all living things, even a tiny insect. He understands that every creature has right to live. Second theme is intelligence in small things. The poet notices that even the small mite, it is creature, isn't it? It is living being, has its own awareness. It can sense danger, act carefully, and try to save itself. This particular thing that astonished our poet. This shows that intelligence exists even in the smallest being. Third theme from this poem is human responsibility. The poem reminds us that humans are stronger, but we also have a duty to act gently and responsibly. We should protect weaker creatures instead of harming them. The next two themes are value of mind or consciousness. The last theme is reflection on modern society. So these themes show how Frost values intelligence, freedom, and individuality, and how he gently questions the strict and controlling nature of modern society. Okay, these are the themes. Please go through all these points. Okay. Now, let's look at the poetic devices used in the poem. First one is it is talking about imagery. The poet uses strong imagery to help us clearly picture the scene. Because of this description and everything, we can imagine all the scene from this poem. Second is personification. Here the might is given human like qualities such as fear, hesitation, and cleverness. Please go through that examples. And the next poetic device is simile is there, then alliteration is there. Okay. Next is very important. Please note down this. Here, there is a irony in the poem because a great poet like Robert Frost focuses on something as tiny and insignificant as a speck. But instead of ignoring it, he actually finds deep meaning and intelligence in it. This unexpected importance creates irony. Okay, next point is symbolism, and the last one is tone. Please go through all these points. Okay, so these poetic devices help Frost turn a simple moment into a deep and meaningful message. So this is all about the important points of this poem. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share for more meaningful content. Thank you.